welcome to Basketball Talk Pro. I'm Ron Ekker. I want to give you the second clue because no one has yet identified the player that I was talking about. Just a quick review. When we talked about the three-man Captain's League that we had, one player showed he could not play and win. Another player quietly showed he was always on the winning team. And I asked, who is that player? I gave you one clue. He played for me for 4 years. The second clue is this. At that time, the Missouri Valley Conference, which is a conference we were in, was one of the fastest conferences in the nation. And playing with Louisville, Memphis, Bradley, Drake, with some really powerful teams in that league. Cincinnati. In that conference, only 2 players in the history of that conference were 3 years in a row unanimous first team selection. Only 2 people have ever done that over 3 years. One of those people was Oscar Robertson, the great Oscar Robertson. The other person was the player we're trying to identify. That should help you. And now on another note, I want to show you this. This is the hard drive that you will get if you buy the Coach's Learning Library. This is probably as good a thing as we've done in Basketball Talk Pro. This is your tutor. No matter how long you coach, my guess is you have this in one form. You'll probably put it in a different form as technology gets better and different. But it contains 165 videos of teaching and learning, and it's something you can really depend on. You'll get a lot of use out of it, and I want to mention to you that in this hard drive, along with the 165, I have developed 82 of those videos in order for a more stringent coach's training. You can use it for yourself. You can use it for your assistants. You can use it for other coaches. And I actually think it will solve some of your parent problems. You can use this. You can talk to the parents about it. But what the parents will feel is that you're doing everything you can to make yourself knowledgeable in the sport. And I think you'll see, if they have confidence in you, that they're less likely to create problems for you. Well, this is part 2 now of the splitting the post. And we will go now to film work. Just so I can prepare you for the film work, it's all very, I don't have to say much because it will explain itself when you get into it. But I do want you to know that the film, when we do this film and capture it like we have to capture it, it tends to speed up a little bit. I'm looking into how we can change that. But for now, you'll just have to live with it. It doesn't affect what you're learning. Listen carefully to what I have to say about corrections. This is critical that you know how to correct. You know what should be corrected, because that's part of learning the drill and being able to coach the drill. And then study it. Don't just run through it once and think, well, we can run that drill if you like the drill, and you should because it'll help you. But take some time with it. Go back to this a couple of times and watch it. Get very, very, immerse yourself in it. Be a master of it before you present it to your players. Well, we'll go to the film work now, and pay close attention to the whole drill so you can do a good job with it. Okay, I wanted to show you, we had just gone through the instructions. I had just instructed them. They have yet to ever have run this drill. The first pass will be the first time they've ever done it. You have seen it on the whiteboard, but this is how we line them up. You know, we have a wing over here and 3 guards out here. I call them that, but they can be wingmen or post-up men even. We just use 2 postmen and then we rotate them so that they get some work on the outside, because we don't know who in our system who is going to be the post-up man and who is going to be the 2 guys running the split on the outside. So we try to get all of our players to be able to run all 3 positions. And the outside men then exchange every time. But these 2 will stay there until we make a move and change them and they come out. So they'll always be running there. And so we'll let this go now, and you can see after you've seen it on the whiteboard, you'll be able to see some of the cuts off of the screen. But remember, this is first day, so there's a lot of work yet to be done. But they did pretty well, I think, for just seeing it for the first time. Now right here, this is pretty good position on the screen. This guy does a pretty good job of bringing him down. I want to make a point of that. Bring him down and run him off the screen. This guy is just setting a screen that he's ready to move off of very quickly. It's up to this guy to use that screen properly. Okay, now that was a regular cut. And this guy ends up with the shot because he's popping off of that. I'd rather see him pop up in here. I think that he would get away from his man better. Now that wasn't bad. The guy, I thought, set a good screen. Now this screen's getting out here a little bit. This man does not set his man up at all. When you just run at a screen, the defensive man has a terrific advantage. You've got to make him wonder if you're going to make a cut. This is too loose here. And that wasn't a real good cut off of it. And see here, this guy's already starting to move the screens over here. You got to teach patience so that they will wait, move their man in, and then make a quick cut. And that curl is not usable in splitting. Just forget it. And he will forget it after this time. The guy takes a shot, so it's a little hard to see on the outside. Now, you will probably have noticed on the passes, it kind of just lackadaisical, but not bad. I've seen it a whole lot worse. But I'm going to stop it right now. and I think you should too. Uh, don't let them, and you'll see me here, I'll show you. I'm going to demonstrate the kind of passes that I don't allow in these drills. This is where we work on passing, is in our drills. And I have to make the point many, many, many times. Now, you tell me, if you watch your players the next time out, you'll see a lot of that, just throwing it in. And that I don't like bounce passes into the post because the defensive man, it's a slow pass. They can get around on the side and deflect it. They can also deflect the next pass I'm going to throw. That kind of lazy pass there. Um, What I'm asking them to do is make more direct passes. Now, I'm not going to get into faking and all of that, at least at this time. But I want them to be passing crisply and accurately in these drills. I show a chest pass here, and you'll see that they have a tendency to run those, do the same thing. They throw chest passes too, which isn't a real good pass for feeding the post. But as coaches, really stay on your players. I go watch practices and I'm just appalled at the way that players are allowed to make sloppy passes. And then they wonder why they have turnovers in the game. And I stay on this. You can tell. And now one of the bigs moved out, and we brought another one in. Now that's better, much better execution on that one. Kind of a turn in there. I like a cuts sharper. What I'm telling them is to get up in here on that screen, not here or over in here someplace. But it's up to this guy to wait so that that screen can be set. He slipped it, and the post-up man has got to be able to see that. On the other hand, though, he's got to a lot of times make a quick shot in there. We get that ironed out. Oh, one thing I want to make sure you understand, though I was not uh, insisting on it in this uh, presentation because it was the first time. These guys should not be standing. They should be back here and cut into that position. And we get them to do that eventually. A lot of guys like those bounce passes and they look nice in practice. In the games, though, they get deflected. So as long as they're throwing, they're aware of their passing now. Most things I see, they're not even aware. Now there's an awful lot of just running the regular here. That's because that's all those guys know. They're not used to the stunting that we want them to do in our offense. So, it'll take time. And, creeping out to shoot a three, I have to question that. There, that was a nice cut. You can kind of tell the players who have been coached in using a screen and cutting off of it. Too slow. on this pop out here. See, they're pretty much just doing the same thing. Oh, I'm moving them now to the other side because um, we were moving pretty fast in this drill. It was the first time, and we had other things we had to cover. Now, make sure this is a little thing, but I was remiss here. I wasn't watching. There should be three guys here. This guy should be over. Now they only got two guys over there. This kind of screws up the drill. So watch for things like that. That player uh, came into this camp really knowing a lot of things. He's a Division One player. This is very, very not well run at all. Now, I don't know what that guy was thinking of. This guy was trying to set the screen and he goes inside. Just a mistake, almost you gotta just chuckle at those. And that guy was starting his cut before the pass was even made. Bring him down in here and then come off. A lot of this fist up stuff, I think that's Duke stuff, but I didn't. I don't. I think you're just telling people what you're going to do, and I don't know if that's the best thing. I didn't stop it in this camp, though. Now, he waited. The screener was a little sloppy. Yeah, this guy moved too fast. The screen. It's tough to screen a guy when you're running at. I mean, get a good screen when you're running at the screen. A lot of hard work here in these drills. See, you gotta come into it knowing you gotta work hard. You ask the players to work hard and right. You gotta be doing the same thing. A lot of mistakes here, but we'll get them straightened out. I want them to get to learn the drill and the possibilities of the drill in these first few times. Guys always looking for outside shots. You win games on layups, so you have to get them. Almost always, the team with the most layups wins the game. Well, that's the end. We're moving on to something else now. But it gave you a pretty good look at how to run the drill. I'm not saying the drill was run great, but it was their first time. But how to run it is the important thing. Well, there you have the second part of splitting the post. And I think if you work with that drill conscientiously and have listened to what I say, I prepared you for things that can happen and that you will need to correct, even though they were done in this film, mainly only because the players were learning it. It takes a long time. To get them to do it in a game, what you'll find is they'll forget to split when they feed the post. When they get that down, then they'll tend to run it just like regular. And it'll take a while before they start using those stunts effectively. This is what we do for a living. This is what we have to stay with. It's not always easy, and you got to work at these drills to make them effective. Well, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching the Basketball Talk Pro, and have a good weekend or whatever whenever you watch this video. Thank you.